Hello, hello, hello. Here we go again. Ha ha. It's morning time over here for me. Uh January 23rd, 2022. The time is 6:37 a.m. and it's a cold one from Israel. Like 47, 45. That's a cold one from Israel. Clear skies, no rain. As of yet, it's supposed to rain later on. Supposed to, you know, according to the meteorologist, they say it's supposed to rain, but you know, sometimes what they say don't happen. Anyway, oh, here we go again. Let's get it on. Hey, did I tell you that I'm a professional DJ? I didn't tell you about my DJ skills. Woo, you gotta hear this one. Oh wow. And see, I told you all I'm gonna be telling you more about me, who I am, so you'll get to know me. Know what kind of great man I am. Cause you all don't know. A lot of great brothers. Even though it's not fashionable in this world to talk positive about black men, there are still a lot of good, great black men around this planet that we don't get no shine. It's always something negative. And if you don't understand why, that ain't something I'm trying to talk to you about today. What I want to tell you about when I was a DJ. Because I told you I'm going to be telling you more about myself. And you'll see the greatness in me as you get to know me better. All right? So let's get to cracking. Let's get it going. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the like for me. I really appreciate it. Even before you press the button, I want to tell you thank you. I really appreciate you subscribing. I really do appreciate you subscribing. I really appreciate you subscribing and hitting the like button and the bell, the notification bell, so that when I put up these delicious, interesting, intriguing, thought-provoking videos, you can know them as soon as they come out. But listen, today I want to tell you about my DJ skills. All right, so you can get to know more about me, the man I am, the happy person I am, and the incredible life I've lived and still living. You know, I'm not gonna say I have lived like it's over with, like I'm speaking to you from the grave or something. No, I'm very much up in here with the living. But anyway, hey, DJ. I started DJing in Atlanta, Georgia at Harper High School. Okay. I was always a real intelligent, smart brother. You know, I told you when I was worked with my father in his auto mechanic shop. I told you how I worked with my mother in her beauty salon as a young fella, 7 years old. And so my mind was always pushed to learn more, do more, figure things out. You know, had that kind of like figure it out mentality. And I used to tinker with stuff. Like my mother would buy me a new radio. I remember she bought me this radio, transistor radio. Back in those days, you know, it's called a transistor radio. All right. Brand new out the box. I went in my bedroom, sit down at my desk, pop my tools out and start taking it apart. Brand new, nothing wrong with it. You know, I hadn't even turned the thing on. I hadn't even put the batteries in it. to fire it up. I popped out my screwdrivers and tools and started taking it apart. You know, because I wanted to see what was in there. I was intrigued with those type of things. Like, wow, this, you know. Nevertheless, by the time my mother noticed me missing, she hadn't seen me in a minute, running around the house and nothing, hadn't heard me. She said, Dara? Yeah. So we didn't have the kind of parents, if they called you from somewhere, you could holler, what? No. Our parents was much more disciplined than that. We had to show a greater level of respect. So if they called you, you had to go to them. One time my father was sitting watching the TV. And in those days, you know, it was only 3 stations, 2, 5, and 11, ABC, NBC, and CBS. I remember them and would never forget them, because listen to this. Pops was sitting there in this big old comfortable chair with his feet up on the stool, and the TV may have been 5 or 6 feet away from him. Nice, you know, floor model TV. You know, I told you, they paper was straight back in those days. So Pop's sitting there chilling, you know, he got his hand crossed over his lap. He done had him a good dinner, just watching the TV. So he called me, Dara! I told you, you can't say what? He had to hear them feet. Well, you know, I'm saying that as a figure of speech. You had to go to him, but I told you we had that thick pile carpet, double foam, so wasn't no pitter patter, no feet running around the house. You had to show up. So when I came to the door, he nodded his head at the TV, where I knew what he wanted me to change the channel. You know, it wasn't a remote control. They didn't have remote control. Had that knob up there, you know, the UHF, VHF. It had the, you know, those color knobs, saturation, focus, that kind of drama. Wasn't no remote control. So it was on channel 2. He was watching something on channel 2. And then he nodded his head, and I clicked from 2 to 5. And then he nodded his head, and I clicked to 11. And then he nodded his head, and I go back to 2. And then he point with his finger, and I would go. That's what kind of discipline we had. So you couldn't holler out, what? So when my mother called me, I didn't say nothing. And so before I actually went to the door of my room, she was standing in the doorway. She said, what you doing? I said, I'm playing my radio. So when she walked in, she saw that bad boy in all pieces. She said, boy, what you done did? I said, I'm playing with the radio, Mama. She said, boy, you done tore the daggone radio. The radio brand new. Why you tear it? I said, I didn't tear it up, even. I just took it apart. Why you take it apart? I said, I wanted to see it. You couldn't just look at it. And I took it all apart in pieces and put it all back together, and it worked just fine. You know, I was just that kind of person, you know, very intrigued with those things. And yes, I did after, you know, high school, I did college, John C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. I came back from there and I went to DeVry Institute of Technology, became electronic communications specialist, technician, you know. So electronic technology was my, you know, thing. I had a great interest in technology. So anyway, that's all after high school. But in high school, Charles L. Harper High, Atlanta, Georgia, you know, still I had that technical, you know, energy, because Harper High was a vocational school also, as well as regular academics. You know, we had the theater. We called it the teaching theater. That was a full-scale theater that we put major productions on in there. The lights, sound system, the stage, seating, and everything. And so I was head of the AV department, audiovisual, because I told you I was like that technology. And so because I was head of the AV department, I had the keys to the theater. I worked up in there handling all the technical aspects of every production that we had. That was me, doing the sound, lighting, special effects. You understand? So anyway, because I handled all the equipment, in the school, television, record players, microphone, mixers, all that type of stuff, dealing with those productions, when it came to us having a party in the school, they came and got the equipment from me. And they had those old style record players where it was a big square box. You take the top off, you had the record, the needle, it was 45, 33. Click it one way, the knob, 45, the other way, 33, and had a big speaker out front. Sound terrible compared to what we listen to today. Absolutely terrible. Well, anyway, we had this party in the gym. Okay, and because I understood all the system, the microphone, and all of that kind of stuff, when we had the party, they asked me would I do the music. I'm like, yeah, why not? So what I did, I took I got 2 record players, and I wired them through the PA system of the gym. And what I did, that gym PA system, it was only designed for microphones, public address speaking. But I hooked the cables and got it working to where I took the output out of the big record player and put it into the input of the microphone. And impedance is the resistance. Without it getting all technical, they didn't match, But nevertheless, the speakers on the wall was not stereo speakers. They was just voice. And that shit sound terrible, man. I mean, it was loud, but it just, I didn't have it so loud that it hurt your ears. You can hear the music. And so what I did, when one record ended, I turned the microphone, the volume up on the next record, and it started playing. And the music just kept going. There was no mixer, wasn't no mixing, wasn't no scratching, wasn't no beat count. It's just that the music never stopped. And everybody liked that. Like, wow, Daryl, how you do that? And that's how I started DJing. Harper High School, 3399 Collier Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, it was. And you know what? I remember it was a Valentine party in the gym at high school in Harper. I think it was 1970. Was it 77 or 78? Because I graduated in 1979. I think that Valentine party that I'm telling you about was in 1978, the year before I graduated. I was a junior. I think, don't quote me, but I think it was 78. Could have been 77. I know it was 79 because 79 I was rolling. But anyway, that's what it was. It was a Valentine party, Harper High School. I think it was 1979. And I took a picture with a sister named Patsina Jenkins. Patsina Jenkins, I remember her. And if I still got that, I think I still got that picture. I brought it here in Israel. I think. Anyway, so I hooked those 2 old record players up to the microphone input to the PA system. And when one record was ended, I started the next record and just turned the knob up. You had mic 1, mic 2. It had 4. The little mic mixer had 4 inputs for microphones. And that's how I did it. Now, after I did it like that, the children was like, "Wow, Daryl, that music never stopped." Because it's like, how before that, records, you put a record on, it stopped, then you have to put another one, wait for it to start. And in doing that, a lot of times you're gonna lost the energy of the crowd in that little threshold of waiting till the next song starts. So I had them kept coming. And I just thought of that. I didn't know nothing about DJ and disco and all that kind of stuff. But that's exactly how I did it. And after that, I began to get requests to DJ other fairs, other people parties that they were having, other class stuff, So, cool. Me, high school, it was fun. I did it. And then I kept doing it. And I went to moms, like, oh, wow. Hey, mom, what? She buy me some sound equipment. For what? So I can DJ. Do what? I said, I want to DJ. So, mom didn't buy it. So what happened? I ended up getting the money myself. Now I got to tell on myself to tell you how I got that money. I sold candy in school. I was a candy man. And did I make money? Woo, wow. Oh man, I made crazy money selling. The first can I started selling in school, I was in the 9th grade, and these senior brothers taught me how to do it. And I started selling these suckers called square shooters. And y'all probably don't remember that. I don't even know if they still make them. Because this is like, it was 50 years ago, something, whatever, 30, 40, whatever. This is decades ago. They called them square shooters. They were different colors, red, purple, green, and they were just candy on a little white stick. And you put them in your mouth. They had a nice flavor, grape, strawberry, orange. And so the seniors taught me how to do it. And I started selling those square shooters. That was in the 9th grade. And because the seniors and the junior boys were selling, they set up an order. They told me where I could sell, and that was it. I couldn't sell throughout the whole school because they had certain sections. So we had to organize. And that was my first experience of organized crime. Selling candy in school, and the senior brothers, they organized where everybody could sell, and we did it. Nobody crossed over their zones, and nobody got to fighting. I just said organized crime, but that's what we were doing. That was the biggest crime syndicate in the school, the Candy Man. They call us the Candy Man. And so anyway, I sold them suckers, and it made good money. Children bought them. And you know what? They was only 10 cents a piece. And I used to sell like 250 of them busters in a day. And so so the 9th grade, I went on to the 10th grade. And the senior brother that was there, they graduated. So they graduated, and some more brothers. So time changed, stuff went on, And so what happened, I wound up being the only candy man in my 10th grade year. All right? And so, because now I'm the only one, I had more latitude to work. So, what I did, I sold through the whole school. Man, I went from those square shooters to this candy called Blow Pop. Some of y'all probably remember the Blow Pop because it was this purple hard candy with bubble gum on it, chewing gum, bubble gum on the inside of it, and it was grape, and the grape flavor, it was delicious. So you'll suck on the candy and it'll dissolve, and once it dissolves so far, you'll bite it, and that bubble gum and that can and that grape in your mouth, man, them blow pops was delicious. Boy, we was crazy for some blow pop. I sold blow pops like a madman. That was the 10th grade. Blow pops like a big dog. And what was I doing with all that money? Nothing. I was saving it. So my junior year, I am the man. Now check this out. My junior year, I got a car. Okay? I'll tell you about the car one day. That's another whole beautiful story. And so I got a car now. And I'm going out to this place called James D. Cofer, wholesaler. This is in Atlanta, Georgia. This is 40, 50 years ago. Some of you all, I don't know, because see, James D. Cofer, they were a wholesaler distributor that they sold to a lot of stores around Atlanta, Georgia. This is back in the, 70s, late 70s. So maybe some of you all listening probably wasn't even born, and some of you all maybe was so young, it don't even matter. And then maybe some of you all know, But anyway, James D. Cofer, wholesalers, oh man, that was my joint. You see, because I would go there and purchase my items wholesale. And then I go resell them in the school for regular store price, which wasn't much, And so I made that profit like that. And it was good. It was good business, good profit, good money. And what I found out is the senior boys, they was going to the grocery store stealing candy. They would steal boxes of candy. They would steal their candy and come and sell it in the school. See, I didn't know that. I never knew where they got it from. Oh, I'm so sorry. I do. I remember, it just came back. They took me to the grocery store in the neighborhood. The name of the grocery store was Big Apple, and they stole a box of Snickers. And that scared the poop out of me. Like, what? Man, y'all, and I never forget the boy, he went in there, had his coat on, and he had sewed a pocket up inside of his coat. And he was over there in the candy section. I'm standing there, and he grabbed a box of Snickers and dumped it in his coat and put the box back on the shelf with a few Snickers bars in it. Back in those days, you didn't have CCTV, you didn't have security camera and all that kind of stuff. People wasn't stealing back then like they are today. They were stealing, but not at this incredible level. And so the boy, he stole the candy, man. They got paydays, they got Snicker bars, Kit Kat, and Reese cups. And these jokers are selling this stuff, man, stolen candy. I'm like, Shazam. So they making a killing, but because I wasn't no thief and I didn't want to run the risk of getting caught, I found out through one of the managers of the store where they get their stuff from, and come to find out it was James D. Cofer out there on the east side of Atlanta. And I went out there and found him, and I went in there, young man. And I drive up in there and I see all these vans and trucks and all this hustle and bustle. These guys run around, so I see the desk. And go up to the desk. He said, "What can I do for you, young man?" I said, "I'd like to buy some candy." He said, "Okay, what store?" I said, "It's not a store." He said, "Who you buying for?" I said, "I'm buying for me." He's like, "Really?" "Yeah." He said, "Where you selling?" I said, "In school." It's okay. Help your school out, your program or something? I said, "Yeah, I got a program." And that's all he asked, help your school out, program or something? I said, "Yeah, I got a program." He said, "Okay, what's your name?" I told him. He said, "All right, I'm going to, listen, what do you want?" Well, now, I said, I would like to see what you got. And so I walked around the store. They had every single candy, cookie, everything you could think of. They had it all. And so I got the Snickers them boys were selling. And I sold them Snickers for $0.25 back in those days. Man, I got rich. I got crazy paid. Oh, it was crazy. It was Snicker bars. Listen, man, I sold candy to everybody except the cooks in the kitchen and the librarians. All the principal, the assistant principal, the librarian, the cooks in the kitchen. Other than that, everybody's bought my candy, even many of the teachers. Because, you know, when it get around at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, just before lunch, everybody got that munchie, that midday munchies. They need something to knock that edge off. It was the candy. And Daryl had it. So when I became a junior, it's all me. I got experience. I know what I'm doing. I know how to get around the principal. Man, I got stretched out. Listen, now I got a great source of McCann. I ain't got to be stealing it. I get as much as I want. So I was out there at James D. Cole for 3-4 days a week, getting boxes of candies. I started out with those Snicker bars. Oh, they made me a fortune. Then I went to the Kit Kat, the Reese Cups, Paydays, Zeros. Man, whoo, I was banging. And what I found out, you can't get a children a choice. Okay, because if you know, the way I found out that the hard way is I went out there one day, I had the Reese and the Snickers, all right, and the Kit Kats. And the children were standing there trying to decide on what they want, and you can't let that happen because why? You got to hit it and quit it. You got to get the money, get them what they want, and move, because you cannot sell with your head down, like looking in the bag, looking at your money all the time, looking at them. You got to let them see what's in the bag, and you keep a visual all around you so that none of the assistant principal walk up on you. They'll get you. And so when I went out there that day with three different choices, it messed me up because the line got long. They trying to, no, I don't want no, how much you stick, how much, you know, can't do that. And so when I realized that, I started showing up with one type of candy. What you got, crowd? Snicker bars. I opened a bag full of Snickers, and they grab one, you know what I'm saying, drop me the money and get on about their business. And they, you know, everybody always had the correct change because, you know, we children in high school, ain't nobody had no bills, you know. So they either had a quarter or whatever. And so the Snicker bars rolled good. And one day I roll up out there with Kit Kats. Ha ha! Oh man, this is crazy. And so I'm making a killing and stacking this money up. You know, I'm staying at home with mom, so it ain't really, I don't need what I need money for. So I'm stacking the money up, right? So anyway, I got my car and I'm selling candy like a big dog. Then I get real big. What I do, I go to some friends of mine because the school is huge. It's a 7 quad-A school at the time. It was 4,000 some odd students, and every one of those students were my customers, and many of the teachers. One man, I couldn't get it all. I mean, I was standing in between classes, sell to the next bell ring, you know, and I'd be gone. But I hadn't got as much money. It was out there because the bell rung, we all get on. So I thought about it, and I went to some of my friends and talked to them about selling for me, working for me. And they all was good for it. I remember one brother in particular named Lavelle Jordan. Lavelle Jordan, he was one of my salesmen. And so what I did, because, you know, we was on the football team, I got all I had 4 brothers working for me. And I got I got the football bag all the same. Okay, just like mine. So all of us had the same football bag. And nobody really noticed it because we all was football players. So the 4 brothers worked with me. They were my friends. We played football. So, you know, that's how they loyal. So anyway, now I got these 4 brothers working for me. What do? I go and get 4 lockers. And I have to talk to the children about letting me use their locker, but I was paying them $20 a month. I was renting these 4 lockers, $20 a month, $80 a month total. One of the lockers was my sister, BB. BB was a trip, man. That girl, she, oh God, BB was straight knucklehead. But anyway, BB, she talked about it. She said, no, you need to give me some candy. I said, well, why I got to give you candy? I'm giving you $20 for the locker. She said, but I want some candy. I said, okay, so you gonna buy it? No, you gonna give it to me. You want the locker, don't you? I said, yeah, I want the locker. But I'm giving you $20. Just give me some candy too. So I gave him some candy. All right, so the lockers that I got were strategically located all around the school because I wanted each one of the boys to be at a different areas where they could get the most students. And so it's 5 of us now. It's me and my 4 friends that sell it, and they all selling for me. Now, what I do, I try something new because the guy out there at the James D. Cofer, he told me about these cookies that he got in. And see, when he knew that I was selling the candy in school, believe it or not, that guy gave me a lot of brand new candy just to try. And that's what he told me. I remember. He said, Daryl, I got something for you when I went out there. What? He said, we got this new candy just came out. And, I was thinking, since you selling in school, that maybe you can take some and try and see what the children, do they like it or not? I said, really? I said, how much it cost? He said, no, I'm going to give it to you. You just take it and, sell it or, and let me know how well it sells. I'm like, really? Yeah. So the dude gave me a bunch of, I think 2-3 boxes, man. Each box had like 50 pieces in it, whatever. It was nice. He gave me all that. I sold every last one of them. So that was like, he did this a lot, man. Like every time they had a new product, new can or something, he'd tell me about it. He'd give it to me. Oh man, the money was rolling, boy. This is good. This is real good. And so I had these lockers stacked up, and he had these cookies that he started getting in. The cookies was on one side. The outside of the cookie was chocolate on one side, vanilla on the other side, and vanilla cream inside, chocolate vanilla cream. And they came in these little bitty boats, little bitty packages. I used to call them boats, but it was like paper, containers with cellophane, clear cellophane over them, so you can see all the cookies in there. Real nice little thing. And they stacked real good in the lockers. So I got a bunch of them cookies, and I would stack them lockers from bottom to top full of cookies. And so, because I had a car, every morning I would hit the school at 6 o'clock and start stocking up all them lockers. Okay? And so when I started with the cookies, I just got these big old boxes of cookies, and I would go in there, and the janitors knew what I was doing because they was in there, getting the school warm. When they get there at 6, I'm right behind them. And so I started going around to all my lockers, filling them up. So when the boys got there, their product was there. They open it, fill their little bags up, and go sell it. And then at 6-hour class, the last class of the day, they would come and drop me the money off, give me little bags of money. They was walk past the room, because see, my 6-hour was over there in the new wing, and the new wing was like these modern type rooms with no doors. And so I would sit in my chair right there by the wall, and when you walk by, you see the people, whatever. So the boy would walk by and just reach and right quick and hand me the money, and I'll be sitting there counting money for my 6-hour class, mostly working on my economic education. I'm in school learning finance and economics, collecting my money, right? And so, I'm making like, I remember I would average 250 shekels every single day of the week that I was in school, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 250 shekels minimum. Sometimes 300, 310, 320, but that was my daily income from all that candy sale. In my junior year, $250, not shekels, excuse me, I said shekels, $250 a day minimum, 5 days a week, right? Yeah, man, $250 a day. Yes. Then here's the big one. This is the one that really drove the school crazy. I wind up
getting out to the Atlanta Bakery out there on Moreland Avenue. Okay, it was a bakery out there, made all type of baked good, bread, pasta, bread, pies, everything. And that's where they made them honey buns. Now, if you don't know what a honey bun is, you missed it. Honey bun is a cake-like pastry with glaze on the top of it, wrapped up in little paper, little plastic. A honey bun, like a big cake. Not a big cake, medium-sized cake, but it had glaze on it, and some of them had cinnamon and glaze. But they was delicious pastry, incredibly good. Now, check this out. I started going to the bakery, all right, getting them honey buns. See, each round go higher and higher, and you got to get better and better, right? So remember, I started with the 10-cent square shooter blow pop. I got to the Reese cups, the Kit Kat, the Snicker bars, Paydays, stuff like that, candy bar. Then I got to the cookies. Now I'm going to the honey bun, the pastry. So I go out to the bread place, the factory, the bakery, and I get the honey buns. But here's the deal. The honey bun came 120 pieces in a box. It was a long, wide, square box. And so 120, so I got 2 boxes the first day, 240 honey buns. And got to the school, packed them in the lockers. The boys saw the honey bun, like, whoa, they was excited because now we really went up on the product. So the honey bun it like drove people crazy, man. And so one box I would leave in my car in the parking lot, but I would park my car halfway under the tree. So the sun, and the way I parked it in the parking lot, I parked it so that sun could hit that trunk. And so when the sun hit that trunk, by noontime, when I needed to get that other box for the lunch rush, them honey buns were warm, like they had just came out the oven, because that trunk was hot out there in that hot sun. Oh man, I went out there and got them honey buns and brought them into school. Them boys, them honey buns were going 50 cents a pop, 50 cents now. See, I went from 10-cent square shooters, 25-cent candy bars. Now I'm at the 50-cent honey bun. Man, I'm making $350 a day, all during school, every single day for months. So when the children get out of school for summer, they go and look for a summer job. Man, I ain't looking for nothing. I done got paid. So what I do? We selling honey buns like a madman. Oh boy, this is crazy. And at 12 noon, the children, nobody could figure out how the crowd would get warm honey buns up in here. But it was running them crazy. I remember teachers used to come to the door. Psst, psst, Daryl, you got anything? Yeah, I had the honey bun. Woo! Other teachers used to come whispering in the room. Psst, psst, he's sneaking, getting their munch on, man. That was just crazy, boy. Yeah. So anyway, I got to tell you, that time I got busted by the ROTC sergeant down there, and I had a gang of children around me, and they kind of got me caught up, distracted my focus, and I kept my head down a little too long, and I didn't see the sergeant walking up on me. When I looked up, there he was standing in the crowd looking at me. He said, "Son, you know that's illegal to be selling candy." And this was the ROT sergeant. They discipline, strict, follow the rules. I said, oh, snap. So all the children looked like, oh, man. I can hear them like, oh, man, I'm so hungry. And then one of the children, they were bold. They said, "Sergeant, well, can I just get my candy right now? Let me get my honey bun, Sergeant. I'm hungry. I'm just hungry." No, you can't do that. This is over with. Y'all go where you're supposed to go. This is over with. I'm taking him to the principal. I'm like, oh, I'm done now. So anyway, I'll go ahead on, follow the sergeant up to Mr. Robinson's office. He was the assistant principal, Mr. Robinson. He done made transition now, bless his soul. But anyway, I'm sitting there
And everybody looking. The word done went around. All Crowder done got busted. And I've been doing this since the 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. We almost about finished the 11th grade and I get busted. But I got this money at the house though. I ain't touched none of that money. I got thousands of dollars set up there. So anyway, I'm sitting there and I got my bag and I bought bags for all the boys matching me and all my 4 salesmen, Lavelle, Jordan, and other brothers. And the type bag I bought was Miami Dolphin, football bags. So we all had these orange football bags, Miami Dolphin, full of candy. Okay, so I'm sitting there, Robinson, he look in the bag, he see all this candy in there. Okay, so he called the principal office up the hallway. Principal office is O.C. Irons. That's the principal, O.C. Irons. He's the principal. And his office is way down on the other side of the school. Cause I told you this was 7 quad A, 4,000 students. It was a big, big school, man. The hallway was long. So I'm sitting there, I was like, well, whatever, you got me. And I was thinking about all this money I had at the house. I said, well, if they stop me from selling, I'm good. I got all this money saved up. So anyway, Robinson, he called the principal, and the principal said, bring him to me with the evidence. So he said, I got you now, son. I got you. Robinson was so happy. He's like he'll call Bonnie and Clyde. Well, he's just so happy. He said, I got you now. I got you. So he said, come on. You go into the principal office. So he let me get my bag. So I got the bag in my right hand, and I'm walking behind him. On the way down the hall, the bell ring. Ring. Oh man, that was a mistake. Ooh, that was a bad mistake. That bell rung and all them students came out in the hallway, and guess who was walking toward me? Lavelle. And Robinson, he would look back periodically, make sure I was still behind me. And when Lavelle walked past us, I took the bag from my right hand, put it into my left hand, and I held it out to Lavelle. And he switched it with his bag right quick. The Lavelle bag, as soon as I got it, it felt real light. I said, okay, cool. So we walked in, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy now. I say, watch this. So we go down to Mr. Iron office, the principal. By now, everybody could see, Crowder, they done got it. Everybody's like eyes looking like, oh man. Because everybody was eating the candy, man. They was like, people was hooked. They know they can go in and get their 10 o'clock munch fix. And I was selling honey buns. Oh boy. So I'm walking behind Robinson with this light bag that I just knew was empty. So anyway, because the principal, he said, bring him here with the evidence. So I'm walking behind Robinson with the light bag. And oh boy, I had to really hold myself to keep from laughing. So we get to the principal office. Secretary say, hold on, I let him know. So she go in, she still OC Mr. Iron. He's a tall brother, about 6'2", 6'3", real dark skin, glasses. Oh, he got a suit, talk real formal, highly educated principal of the high school. So he comes out, he walks over to us, and he said, young man, it's against the rule to sell candy. I said, yes, sir. He said, Mr. Robinson, where's the evidence? So Robinson, he grabbed a bag from me, he zips it open, and he rips it open, he holds it in front of the principal, and he didn't look in it. And so the principal looked down at it, and he looked. He said, Mr. Robinson, I thought you said you had candy. He had candy in the bag. So Robinson looked in the bag, socks, shoes. He like, where that candy at? He hollered out, and everybody stopped in office and looked. I looked at Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson, what candy? He said, boy, don't play with me. This bag was full of candy. I said, but I don't know where no candy at, Mr. Robinson. I'm serious. I think you made a mistake. I was trying to tell you that. And you know me, I said I was trying to tell you that. Oh God, Mr. Iron, you being real formal and real like matter of fact principle. He looked at Mr. Robinson. He said, Mr. Robinson, do not make any claims on any of my students unless you have proof. And he turned around and went back in his office. Mr. Robinson, that nigga, excuse me, ooh, I'm sorry. That joker walked out of that office. He was so mad. He said, I'm gonna get you, boy. He said, I'm telling you, if it's the last time I do, I'm gonna get you. And I went on and finished selling candy the rest of the year. He never got me, and part of my senior year. Now, the sound equipment was purchased with them candy sales, but I was able to get a nice amount of equipment, but the heavyweight stuff that I really, really wanted, I didn't have that money. So I went to Mom's, and I made a deal with her. And she wanted me to buy underwear and, you know, and socks and stuff like that. But I told Mom, I said, listen, I had a business. I opened a business, Mama, DJing. I can make all kind of money. I can buy this underwear store. She said, boy, you need to get you some new underwear. I said, Mom, I need to open a business. I said, if I go out and buy underwear, all my money be gone. But I open a business, the business would continue to make money. And I can buy underwear every day. So what I need is you to get these pieces of equipment, and that way I can go and do the business like it needs to be done, and I make a lot of money. I said to Mom, I already got this much money, and this is what I need to get the rest of the equipment, and I'll be in business and I can make a whole lot of money. I said, now if you give me the money, I can pay it back to you. She's like, what? Yeah. I'm not telling you to give me the money and it's gone. I'm telling you actually loan me the money and I'll pay it back to you. She really? Yeah. I say, so that way you ain't missing none of your money. Mom gave me that money. I got the rest of that equipment and I became EMF in Atlanta, Georgia. Earth electromotive force. EMF is the electronic symbol for voltage, electricity. EMF, electromotive force. EMF is how electricity is measured, electromotive force. And that became EMF. And I blew up, became one of the largest mobile sound companies in Atlanta, Georgia back in the day. To the point where I would go around and rent the Grand Ballroom, a major hotel, the Ramada, the Hilton, the Plaza, and rent the Grand Ballroom and throw these large beer bluffs. Go out there to the Coors and get that cheap keg beer, and to the paper place and get the cups, those 12 ounces cup, just goo gobs in them cups. And then I would rent the hotel room, and we'd charge $25 at the door beer blast. And I did that for like a year. And all I did was work one night a week, Friday, and I go on do my little DJ thing between like 8 o'clock at night, maybe 11 or 12. And I was clearing $25,000 a show. And we did it every Friday night. And that's all I did, work one day a week, Friday night, for 3-4 hours. And I made that kind of money because I had some beautiful sisters collecting the money on the door. You know, we had the little stamp, the rubber stamp that we'd stamp your hand with this ink that you can only see it under UV. And so once you pay, we're stamping on the back of your hand, and then you could leave out. And so what I learned over the doing them parties is don't make it a situation where the people can come in and then you can't let nobody else in. Because once you get the 1,000 people in, that's all you got. But if you allow the people to come and go, you can constantly collect that money. You follow what I'm saying? And so, woof, we got paid. And also, I had my brothers that worked at Circuit City. Them boys would bring me from Circuit City one of them boom boxes. And in the party, I would set up a little display under a nice bright light, and I would raffle that boom box in the party, $5 a ticket. And we started selling the tickets at 9 o'clock at night. And then I would call the winning ticket at 12 midnight and get that boom box away. And how old was I doing this? 17, between 17 and 18. Yeah, whoo, making a killing. Bags of money coming up out of there. 17 years old. Yeah, that's what I did. My junior year of high school, just get paid, just get money, just come up with ideas, man. 1, 2, 3, just get paid. Yeah, so we did that. So getting money is just a bunch of ideas and knowing how to execute them ideas. You know, business is just a bunch of ideas and knowing how to execute those ideas. That's what it is. You know, I can tell you about when I opened a car wash shop here in Israel. I can tell you about when I was broke, didn't have no money. I started dealing with window cleaning here in Israel. You know, a bunch of little things that you could take and generate income in. You know, so long as you got a healthy body and a good mind, you can figure it out. And that's why you need to figure out where that subscribe button, so you can get these great stories, these interesting stories. You know what I'm saying? You hear more from me. But right now, I've gotten to my first delivery right here at the city of Holon. I'm going to jump out, dump some fuel in the generator, and jump over to Ramla and hang out over there, and then go to Netanya, and from Netanya, hit Bnei Brak, and then I'll be finished for the day. But hey, I enjoyed talking to you. You know, you made me remember some things I ain't think about in a long time, talking about that DJ and selling candy. Aha, that was interesting. You know, Candy Man, yeah, buddy. I came up with all that cash and showed it to my mom and told her I want to borrow your money and give it back. You know what? She never asked me where did I get that money from. I think it was so overwhelming, the deal that I presented her, and her looking at all that money just kind of like, Shazam, I better go with it, you know? But anyway, that's how I got it. I opened Earth Union Mobile Disco, and then we started doing them parties at all the major hotels around Atlanta every Friday. 1,000 people minimum, $25 at the door, free beer, $25,000 minimum I bring home. And I was still living at home with moms doing that, you know? And it was just fun. That's all it was. It wasn't nothing no more than that. It was just fun. I had nice car, beautiful car, clothes, anything. And my mother, she didn't have to spend no money on me at all, because I was always coming up with my own cash. To me, it was easy, it was fun, it was exciting. And I just did it. Yeah, I just did it. So anyway, don't forget, hang out with me. Tomorrow I'm gonna have some more stuff to tell you about me, so you can get to know who is this over here in Israel doing all this talking, okay? And I'm doing it because it's therapeutic for me. You know, I enjoy talking and telling you this stuff. It's interesting. It really is. When you sit there and listen, you're like, man, you're watching me drive down the street here in Israel and you listen to these incredible stories of my life. It's real interesting. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me, and the like button, and then the bell, so when I drop it, you won't miss nothing, okay? But this piece was about my DJing and candy selling in school. All right, but you know what? I didn't really get deep into the DJ. Okay, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Today, more or less, was like the candy business, but started out the DJ. You know, it's just so much. All right, just so much interesting stuff. But anyway, maybe tomorrow I'll tell you more details about the DJ. You know, I told you about the box, but and how I got the equipment. Now you need to know about me and Reggie Reg, big time DJ out of New York, how he impacted my life and the stuff that I actually did as a DJ and what I learned and all that kind of stuff, okay? All right, nevertheless,
Go ahead and subscribe. I love you. I appreciate you listening. And it is interesting. You know it. Okay? But anyway, I love you from the basement of my heart to the attic of my mind. I love you 24/7. That means I love you all the time. Thank you. Shalom.